Good morning, Trojans. Welcome to LDR News. I'm your host, Alan Holmes, and you're watching Group 5 at 11. Today, we're going to take a look at how leaders can learn to handle dealing with difficult people, how they can better read nonverbal cues and master their body language, and how they can improve their writing skills. Olivia Walliser, who has probably dealt with more difficult people than most of us, has the scoop.
Thanks so much, Alan. To continue on the theme of today's segment, I am here to discuss one of the most difficult challenges of leadership, dealing with difficult people. We have all been there, those negative thinkers, arguers, naysayers that can poison any group with their inability to change. So here are 5 things that experts say can help you deal with difficult. First of all, decide whether your goal is to change them or deal with them. This can be difficult. You can offer incentive to change someone, but you can't change them all on their own. They need to be invested also. Second, understand that some people will not respond to your efforts to get along with them. Let's face the facts, folks. Some people seem to enjoy being difficult. Maybe it's a bad habit, or maybe it boosts their self-esteem. Either way, try not to let those people discourage your efforts. Third, don't let the bad habits of difficult people rub off on you. They say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, so make sure those people are positive people. Just like children pick up on the behaviors of their parents, people tend to do the same thing. Habits are contagious. Fourth, people may accuse you of having their problems. This is what scientists call projection. It often makes people feel better to attribute their shortcomings onto you. The key is to prevent this from happening to you and those around you. Projection disrupts interpersonal relationships and stops the group from functioning. And that last and final tip is to remember that you may be the difficult person in the room. They could be right, but don't be discouraged. You can change. Change yourself and then change those around you. Now that's all the tips we have for today. Thanks so much, Alan. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Olivia. It can certainly be hard to deal with difficult people. We could all use those tips in our lives. Up next, Carolyn Kemp has a story for us about the state of leaders across the nation and how we can all better understand nonverbal cues and body language. Carolyn?
Thank you, Alan. I'm Carolyn Kemp. There has been a recent increase in people who don't understand nonverbal cues. Many young leaders today aren't paying attention to their peers and followers, and it's causing many misunderstandings. Leaders who make eye contact and use proper body language to their peers and followers are perceived as more open, friendly, and concerned. Facial expressions can show your followers that you are interested. Some facial expressions you don't want to do are frowns, scowls, and looking completely disinterested. Whereas eye contact and body language, you want to look at your peers and followers, and you also want to face them and seem open about things. Leaders who are early to appointments show that it has meaning to them, and it shows that they actually care about what is happening. How you dress also shows that you care about the event and that you're not there to just muck around. Be careful of what tone you use to say your message, because it can come across as rude and condescending when you don't mean for it to. So you need to use a gentle tone and seem interested in the topic and not monotone the entire way through. To be a good leader, you need to pay attention to nonverbal cues and remember that actions, non-actions, and voice all carry meaning. Thank you. And back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Carolyn. Next up, Gunnar Watson has a story for us about why it's so important for a leader to develop his or her writing skills. Gunnar?
Thanks for having me today, Alan. I'm Gunnar Watson. I'm here today with Troy Leadership Group 5. I'm going to tell you why having good writing skills is a very important part of becoming a good leader. Becoming a good leader like myself isn't very easy, and I believe it starts with having good writing skills. Writing is a key leadership tool and really shows 2 things. It reflects clear thinking and enhances confidence. With these 2 traits, people are always going to respect you and know that you're truly a good leader. Good leaders should be able to express themselves clearly on print, and this is very important for young leaders on their way up like me and you. People with a higher leadership role don't have to write as much because they can get someone to do it for them. Even though someone writes it for them, they still have to evaluate it. To get to this higher leadership role, you're going to have to work for it, and that is going to start with improving your writing skills. Good writing skills aren't going to happen overnight, and they sure aren't going to come easy. And honestly, there is no excuse for not having them. If you truly want to become an effective and respectful leader, writing skills must be a top priority for you. Without these writing skills, you won't become the best you can be, and that's just not what good leaders do. Well, folks, I think it looks like we're having a guest appearance today on the newscast. Come on in, Jake Andrews. Have a seat.
Oh, hey guys, I'm Jake Andrews, and I think it is very important for leaders to have excellent writing skills in all phases and aspects of leadership.
Well, guys, I appreciate you. Now it's back to you, Alan.
Gunnar, Jake, thank you. That's all the time we have for today. To recap, leaders should learn to better handle the difficult people around them. Leaders should learn to read nonverbal cues and body language. And leaders should work to improve their writing skills. You've been watching Group 5 at 11 on LDR News. Stay tuned next week when we cover the story of a boy named Ted who learns to rebuild trust with his girlfriend.